Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen, we're making some delicious, chewy coconut cookies. So let's get started. First off, preheat your oven to 350. This recipe has no chill time and it's really fast. Now in the medium bowl, I'm adding 2 cups of all-purpose flour. That's 240 grams. Perfect. These cookies have nothing but big notes of coconut, and they are a coconut lover's dream. For some contrast, we're adding half a teaspoon of salt, and to puff things up, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Grab a whisk. Scale is done, and we're gonna mix this up. You really wanna distribute that salt and baking soda well. By the way, if you like my videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. There's 2 new recipes and shorts every single week. All whisked up. I wanna tell you one thing about the coconut, because it's the star ingredient for this. You have a choice. For a chewy, soft cookie, just use regular old, delicious, sweetened, shredded coconut. But if you wanted a cookie that had less spread and a more intense coconut flavor, you're just going to toast the coconut. This will get rid of all the excess liquid that's in here and give you a really crunchy, crisp cookie. Both ways will work, so you choose your favorite. And you could also use a combination of the two. If you want to toast your coconut, pop it onto a baking sheet and bake at 325 for 15 minutes, stirring every 3 to 5 minutes so it doesn't burn. Into the bowl of my stand mixer, fitted with a paddle attachment or a big bowl if you're using a hand mixer, it's time to add 3/4 of a cup or 170 grams of softened unsalted butter. And softened butter will let you drag your finger through it and make a nice indent pretty easily. But it's not melted. To sweeten these cookies up and soften them, I'm adding half a cup or 100 grams of granulated sugar and half a cup of light brown sugar. Light brown sugar has that lovely caramel flavor, which will pair really nicely with the coconut. But if we used all brown sugar, our cookies would spread too much, which is why we cut it 50-50 with the white sugar. Pack it in, and I'm actually gonna plop it onto my hand and crumble it in, because I know there's some lumps hanging around. I don't like lumps. Pop your paddle attachment on, and we're gonna mix this on medium for 3 minutes until it's light and fluffy. Scrape your bowl down. Always a good policy. By the way, if you're making these cookies in a stand mixer, know that this little screw right here adjusts the height of the mixer. So if you have a lot of unmixed nonsense at the bottom of your mixer, it should be adjusted. Just get a flathead screwdriver and twist it. After 3 minutes, it's time to crack a large egg into the bowl. You could crack it into a small bowl and dip it in if you're worried about shells. And for some added flavor, 1 teaspoon of vanilla goes a long way. 1 more scrape down. Mix it up until it's just combined. It'll be less than a minute. Just take a look at the texture. It's not broken, it mixed in really well. It's time to add the flour mixture in. Carefully. This is the one video where my countertop will be clean. We're gonna mix this on low until it's almost combined. It's totally okay to see streaks of flour. Just keep an eye on it. I want these cookies to be really soft and cakey, which means no overmixing. So I stopped it while it's still pretty crazy looking inside the bowl. A final scrape down. I love that this recipe just uses coconut for the flavor. There's no coconut extract, which I think just isn't great. I love the way sunscreen smells, not the way it tastes. It's time to add 1 3/4 cups of that shredded coconut. That's 150 grams. And if you're using toasted coconut, it's the exact same steps. Mix this on low until it's distributed. And as that happens, the cookie dough will be completely mixed. All done. Such a fast recipe. It is ready in a snap. Grab 2 rimmed baking sheets, line with parchment paper, and we're gonna get to scooping. Time to scoop out 2 tablespoon-sized portions of our cookie dough. Plop it onto your baking sheet, and we want about 2 inches in between each so there's room to spread. If you want, you could bake off some of these cookies now and freeze the rest for later unbaked. I would just freeze them on the baking sheet, then transfer to a freezer bag, and they would last about 2 months in the freezer really easily. Then you can just bake from frozen, adding a couple extra minutes for bake time. After baking, these cookies will keep for a week if stored in an airtight container at room temperature. Our coconut cookies are ready to go into the oven 350 for 10 to 12 minutes until the edges are golden and the tops look dry. In you go. Allow to cool, and just like that, they're ready to enjoy. Soft, chewy, and full of coconut flavor. I hope you get a chance to make this delicious recipe, and if you like my videos, hit that subscribe button and check out my cookie playlist.